Hey friend, I'm Danielle Damrell, and I am so grateful that you're listening to the Created Worthy podcast. This show is all about honoring the life stories of women from different ages, beliefs, backgrounds, and experiences. Everyone's got a story, and instead of getting stuck in the trap of unworthiness, this is a safe place for stories to be shared. On this show, we chat about the transformative power of creative processing too, and how we can utilize our God-given creativity with intention to heal, grow, find joy, create simplicity in the midst of our chaotic lives. So pull up a seat at our table, because we are all created worthy. Hello, welcome back to Created Worthy Podcast. Today we are listening to part 2 of Sara Davenport's story. If you haven't heard part 1, go back one episode, listen to the first part. Today we are just going to jump right back in. But thank you so much for joining us. And without further ado, let's jump into part 2 of Sara's story.
In kindergarten, like we look out the windows, we're like, oh, we're daydreaming, and oh, I can't wait till we get out of school. We're gonna do this, or I'm gonna be this. Like my brother wanted to be a fire truck, not a firefighter, a fire truck. We all have these things that we want to do and be. But then the teachers say, Susie, Johnny, stop staring out the window, pay attention. And we stop daydreaming. Daydreaming's not a good thing. Pay attention. And so we put our dreams up on the shelf in a box that gets dusty, and we forget about them. So that was one thing that really hit me, was what are my dreams that are dusty that I've put up on the shelf?
Yeah.
Here's another huge pivotal moment for me. When I moved to this big city of Houston, because Knoxville, sweet city, not a lot of crime there. My first job, upstate New York, Utica, I was going to the maple syrup festivals, right? Like not a lot of like massive breaking news. Houston, I would walk in, I'm like, how many stabbings and shootings? They're like, slow night, only 3. I'm like, oh, bummer. Okay, wait, what's wrong with that? Why am I thinking that's, I'm like, something's got to give. If I'm thinking, oh, it's a slow night, bummer, only 3 people were stabbed or shot, what in the world? So being in Houston, after I had that baby, I'm anchoring the morning show. Now they want me to go out and do some more reporting for the noon show, which I was like, all right, fine. So I'd go out on the streets. What I'd be doing, I was starting to interview, doing more and more interviews with people who had been through massive, horrible events. And when you're in a big city, think about it. You turn on the news, what's called the A block. So the first block of news, you've got A block, B block, then you usually have weather, sports, and then you have like your final block, usually the D or E block is going to be like a kicker story, something fun. So anyway, A block of your news is all the hard news in a larger city, death, destruction, all the bad stuff, right? If I'm reporting on A block news, a lot of that is interviewing people who've just lost a loved one. Someone was just murdered. There's something horrible just happened. Every day I'm hearing just such sad stories, and I'm meeting people in just a really tough time in their life. And that's where a couple of things happen, but really I realize like I know we're not promised tomorrow. God never says that we're promised tomorrow. There's nothing like that in the Bible. But all these people, so many of the parents or the siblings or the people I'd interview go, man, they had so much going for them. There was so much life still to be lived. Or he had so many dreams of XYZ. These people didn't get to go after their dreams. These people didn't get to. And so what were their lives like? Were they just stuck in the day-to-day? Oh, someday I'm going to do this, someday. And then that day literally never came for them. Or were they just stuck in the working for the weekend, and it's Sunday night and you dread Monday, and then you get through Monday and Tuesday, and then Wednesday, hump day, woohoo, Thursday, you're feeling better, Friday's great, Saturday, and then Sunday, and you're dreading again that Monday. So many people are on this hamster wheel of life, and they're not getting off.
Yep.
They're pushing off their dreams. They're just getting through the week, which, by the way, getting through the week means you're just getting through the month, which means you're just getting through the year after year. And so many people die and their dreams are gone with them. And so when I was doing all those stories, I thought, I don't want that to ever be my story. I don't know what tomorrow brings, but I want to go after my passions. And I also am realize how important other people's stories are. My own story as well has such importance. And I need to get out of this box. And for me, it was a literal TV box, right? When you think about a
Right.
TV screen, like I need to get out of the box. What other talents and passions has the Lord given me that I have not chased? Because I've just been in this box. I've just been using the talents that He's given me for being on camera and for doing interviews and for writing and in these sorts of ways, right? For TV news. What else is there? What is my plan B? And I
Mm-hmm.
went back to that.
Wow. Yeah. And really just being able to say that I'm not going to let my dreams die
Mhm.
with me, right? Going back to those rusty dreams, not being afraid of exploring that plan B because you've got plan A, which I actually think a lot of people need to hear that. I think that for the women out there who have climbed the ladder, they've done the thing, they are sitting in the spot in the whether in a corporate company or as this even as an CEO or an entrepreneur themselves, they're like, I'm doing what I love to do. Why do I not feel satisfied? It's
Mhm.
like, have you asked one, have you asked God what you're called to do? And two, what are the dreams that have been planted in your heart forever? Have you been willing to uncover what a plan B, C, D, E would look like?
Mhm.
And sometimes that can be overwhelming to people, right? They're like, I have one plan and that's how you were. I have one
Yeah,
plan and I'm
yeah,
sticking to it. But
yeah. I had
that,
no intention of leaving TV. I was going to be in TV forever. That was my
yeah,
plan.
yeah. But that coworker of yours, like he challenged you to do something that actually you needed to do. And then it helped you to realize once you became willing to open yourself up to that plan, you realized how much that was actually your desire was to
Mhm.
be with your kids and to
Yeah.
create a different life for them than you had and to create a different connection. And you are the most committed mom I know. Like you are always at the sports. You have four boys. They all play sports, I believe, right?
Mhm.
You're
Yeah.
at the sports games. You're driving across the country to take them to school. You're helping them move in. You're there for all of the different things. And you're running this incredible business now that is helping other people to make those pivots and then also just to tell their stories in the midst of whatever they're doing in their lives and businesses now in a powerful way, specifically on LinkedIn. So, talk to me a little bit about you made that decision.
Mhm.
Eventually, you did
I did.
exit
Mhm.
the TV news industry. How long of a process was that? And then what was the first thing that you did to like replace that income?
Yeah. It was a scary time because I was making six figures. And if I suddenly wasn't working, we couldn't live the way that we wanted to live. And I'm not talking about houses and boats and cars and things, right? For our family, what's really important when Scott, my husband, and I talk about it, it's not, we want to invest in memories. We don't, instead of investing in stuff, right? Because stuff
Mhm.
you can't take with you, right? Remember, I told you I've interviewed all these
Yeah.
people who've gone through really tragic times. And at the end of the day, none of that can go with you. And did that really matter? So, what matters the most to our family is truly creating memories, whether that is through travel, whether that's through weekly experiences, like, or for the Christmas boat parade that we just had, like the fact that we could decorate the boat and go out
Yeah.
on the river for the Christmas boat. I mean, ridiculous and silly, but my kids remember drinking hot cocoa in the boat and decorating the boat and going along and like little traditions, little things that add up to a lot that show your kids love. Love is not, let me buy you one more thing. Love to
Mhm.
a child is spelled Time, not
Yeah.
Love, but it's spelled Time. What kind of time?
Wow.
Show me I am important through your time. Show me I am important through you paying attention to me. And not all the time, right? But literally, if you took 10 minutes with your child and just really poured into them and did whatever it is they want. Oh my gosh, one more game of Monopoly, please shoot me. You want to go out and shoot basketball? Okay. But it means the world. That's what they remember, not the little crap that you bought them at the dollar store again.
Right.
I don't know where I'm going all with that, but I'm so passionate when, especially when it comes to kids and to parenting, like
Well, that's
we think we have
huge.
to do so much, and
Yeah.
really it's the little stuff that means a lot. And so that's where for me, travel, I want to show my kids the world, and
Yeah.
that there's more to life than Houston, Texas, where we live, that
Yeah.
there's so much out there. That's why travel's such a big deal. And
Yeah.
that's why I got them passports at a young age. And if we could save up the money and we could go somewhere, and not all at once, we do individual trips with our kids too.
Yeah.
I think that's important, spending time like, where do you want to go? Even if it's an hour away, what would that look like? What would be
Yeah.
fun for you? Let's design that. They remember those things, right?
Yeah.
That's the important stuff. So I don't know how I got off topic, but all of that.
You actually, that one, that's very convicting. So thank you for that reminder. Because I have a 9-year-old that I'm like, no, I don't want to draw anything in this coloring book of unicorns. I'm done with it.
You can
But
be. That's okay sometimes, right?
yes, but a huge part of that is because I'm like, I want to go, I want to do all this other stuff for these other people. But it's really convicting that you said love to a child is spelt Time. Like, whoo, whoa. Let's just take a moment to process that. And then second, I do have to say though, you have inspired me. Like Gary and I just took Ella to Pigeon Forge, Tennessee, which is right outside of Knoxville.
Yeah.
And that was 100% a trip that she chose, that she wanted to go on. There's the Titanic Museum there. And I remember you telling me earlier this year about you letting your kids choose destinations. And so when we were going through a hard time this summer, like that was my go-to, was like, where's somewhere that you want to go? And that was an incredible experience for us. Like that is a memory that I think all of us will have for a lifetime. And she like got to feel like it was just this really special trip for her where we just put our laptops down and focused on being a family and pouring into her and loving her. And it was really special. So you've already inspired me to take action in that way with my own child. So I know that you are doing that with lots of other people as well. But I do want to get back to the question of
Okay.
when you made that decision
Oh, yeah.
to get out of TV news, what was the first thing you did to replace that income?
That's a great question. Sorry. Yeah, I get off my
No,
tangents
it's
about
okay.
kids and
You're very passionate about your family and that's who you are, which is what the show is all about, is about showing who behind the what that you do. And so
Mhm.
those kinds of tangents are always welcome. I
Oh, good.
also am like, okay, now we know that you had to make that decision because that's what the Lord was calling you to. That's what you knew was right. That's what your family needed.
But here's what's funny. I didn't know. I knew that it was right, but I'm like, am I really supposed to?
Okay, so you
But
still questioned
So
it.
God really, it's funny. When he wants to be really clear, he can be very clear. So I
Yes.
thought I was actually going to stay in TV and just go maybe a smaller city and maybe take a lesser role than being the main face of the TV station.
Mm,
And so I had my resume tape, my demo reel, and I was sending it out everywhere. My agents, oh, we're looking smaller now. Denver was one of the places, and they had an opening for noon anchor. I'm like, oh, that could be perfect because then I could be more present with my kids. I'm still on the air.
mm.
I'm so overqualified. I got denied, and I got denied, and I got denied.
He
All
closed
these
the
jobs where
doors.
he was closing doors left and right. And I'm like, but God, no. I know that I'm supposed to be present with my kids. I know I'm supposed to be like a plan B, but the plan B of me being more present and doing more stuff with my children so I can raise them is I'm still in TV. TV is
Right.
still a major part of this. No, it's not. No, it's not. I'm like, but it
Mhm.
is God. No, it's not.
Yeah.
And so it was I am so thankful that he closed those doors. I am so forever thankful and grateful because my life would not be as truly amazing as it is today if he hadn't shut those doors, because I would have just kept going down the path of what I knew, which is what my mom had done. She was in TV all the way through. I'm sure there were times she thought of getting out, but it's what was comfortable. It was financially lucrative. Why wouldn't you? But
Mhm.
he closed those doors so clearly. But I still kept thinking, oh, he's going to open them. So in the meantime, I'm going to do this little affiliate marketing thing and just, I'm well known in Texas. And so I'm going to do some affiliate marketing in the health and wellness space. I'm going to make a little bit of money. That took off. And I actually replaced my income in TV in under 4 months, 5 months. It
4
was,
months?
yeah. And I was like, okay, Lord, maybe I'm not supposed to be in TV. But what that gave me then was my own time and the ability to choose how I spent my time. I'm not somebody who, I'll be honest with you, I'm not a big Netflix watcher. My mom loves watching like she's got Hulu and Netflix and all those things that
All
are out
the
there. I don't even
streaming.
know. Yeah, all the streaming stuff. And she's always, oh, what shows are you into? And I'm like, I don't have shows except for House Hunters and Shark Tank when I'm falling asleep. Like two really lame shows that have been around forever. Not
I
lame, but
love those. Do not
okay.
call those shows lame.
Okay, good. Okay, good. But I'm not into like series or people like, did you see the latest docu-series on da-da-da-da? And I'm like, no, because I know that we only have a certain number of hours every day. And I understand the value of just relaxing, but for me, relaxing and sitting in front of the TV, they don't go together. I also don't sit well. I realize I'm not somebody who sits well. Like I'm busy all the time. I don't sit well. When I'm done, I go to bed and I'm out and I'm done. And I pop up and let's go the next morning.
Yeah.
So I
You're an
would rather
Enneagram 3, so you
I agree.
want to just do.
Yes. Yeah,
Yes.
I don't sit well and do all that. But when I realized I had all this time and this business I had started, this online e-commerce business was really taking off. And I was training in front of people and I was flying all across the world, opening up new markets with them and helping them with marketing and all the things. But it's funny, I enjoyed it. I was making money, but I still felt there was part of me that I wasn't using. And I don't remember at what point I decided to really sit down and do, you call it creative processing, but really thinking through let me peel the onion back. Do you ever see the movie Shrek? And he's, oh yeah, it's like
Yes.
peeling out the onion. So I'm peeling the layers, like, where are my passions? And a friend of mine, her last name is actually Davenport. Her name is Rita Davenport. She's one of my all-time mentors. I love her. And she said, if time and money were not an issue, what would you do? Where would you go? Who would you bless? What would life look like? And I hadn't really thought that through. And so for anyone listening, I'm going to pose that question to you. If time was not an issue, you had all the time in the world. You never had to go to work. You don't have to worry about money. Like time's not an issue. Money's not an issue. You got billions in the bank, right? Like you could truly design a life you love. What would that look like? Where would you go? Where would you live? What would you do? What would you spend your time doing? Who would you bless? What would life look like? And that was huge. That was huge. And that after my fourth son was born is when she posed that question. And it really got me thinking, okay, God has given me these four crazy kids, awesome kids, but crazy, right? Four boys. You can imagine my life, right? Four boys. Even the dog was a boy at the time. There was Doug, my cat, a boy, right?
Yes.
And I'm like, I'm the only woman around, which I also
Love.
think Doug. But God knew what he was doing when he gave me boys. Like I couldn't have handled girls, I don't think, being a tomboy myself originally. And I don't
You're a
think I
boy
could.
mom.
I'm a total boy mom, total
You're a
boy
boy
mom.
mom.
Yeah. So what could I do? And that's where I started going, I think there's more in these layers of the onion that I just haven't uncovered or that are up on that dusty box of dreams from in kindergarten when we stopped daydreaming. What's up there? And so I encourage people to pull down that dusty box and look in it. Like, when's the last time you really sat down with yourself, got quiet just with you? Like, who am I? Like, you don't have to show this to anybody else. You don't have to show it to your partner. You don't have to show it to anyone. What do I really love? What do I really want to experience? What would I do if I had all the money and all the time in the world? Where would I go? What would I do? Who would I bless? What would life look like? And so I spent some time doing that. And I realized that I love connecting with people. I love hearing their stories. I love telling stories. I love speaking on stages, inspiring people. That is part of my passion. I love to inspire others because I definitely don't have a story that's traditional. And it's not a story where I'm like, oh, look at where I've been. No, everybody's been through crap, but here's some cool lessons I've learned through it. And I think one of it is we all keep ourselves in a box because it's comfortable. It's what we've been doing. Like, why change if it's working, whatever? Or we're on that hamster wheel of life and no one else is getting off. Why would I get off? It's just fine, right? We're working for the weekend. Now it's Saturday. Life is great. Sunday, ugh, routine, boring. Monday, I hate. What if you didn't have to hate Mondays?
Mm.
What if you could wake up and your eyes open and your feet hit the floor and you're like, yes, Lord, it is Monday. Let's go. Let's do this thing. That's how I feel today. And I
Yes.
have to tell you, since I jumped full on into chasing my dreams as an entrepreneur, not being in affiliate marketing where I'm building someone else's business through
Yeah.
marketing, building my own business and really being able to lean into the talents the Lord has given me, lean into the passions that I've always had, but maybe kept in that box. I felt that I was in a box. And I think so many women, no matter where you are, check those walls of that box. Is it
Yeah.
time to grow out of it? Maybe find something new that's not a box, something new and exciting that you can go after that you've been ignoring or putting off until someday.
Hmm. Yeah. And that's exactly what you've done. And
Mm.
especially over this last year, which I referred to at the beginning of the show, was you have had to go through quite an uprooting over the last several years, right? Since Ford was born and, or your last son was born. And it's been a lot, I think, of God opening huge doors to get you out of one place and then him starting to shut doors. And that's exactly what he's done over this last year, I feel, as well in your life, is he's opened a bunch of doors. He's made you go through that peeling back of the onion. What do I really want? Who am I really called to serve? Getting maybe into a new chapter, a new season, because you've been in that season for quite a while. You grew this incredible affiliate marketing business in to a really incredible level. You were able to help a lot of people. You were able to introduce them to products that really have been transformative in their lives or in their skincare and their wellness in various forms. And then God was like, okay, now it's time for you to do it on your own 2 feet, right?
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
without these products that somebody else is creating, but it's time for you to start creating. And
Mm.
so over it's been what, 2 years now, almost maybe 2.5 years since you officially started your own
A year and a
business.
half. A
A
year and
year
a
and a
half.
half.
Mhm.
Okay, so it's been a year and a half, but over the last year is really when it was like 2 feet in, we're doing this thing. And so tell us now how you've used all this past experience to
Mhm.
build really two different branches of your business that serve very specific individuals that clearly are connected to the past chapters of your life.
And it's interesting because I had built this big business, but then it was starting to decline.
Yeah.
Everybody's involved in affiliate marketing now. Everybody's selling something, everybody. And so God was saying, Sarah, there's still something else out there for
Mhm.
you. There are other things for you. So I could have been hesitant, kicking and screaming again. No, this is what I know. I've built it up. It's great. All it's fine, everybody. Everything's fine. Don't look over here. Everything's fine. But the truth was, financially, I knew that this wasn't going to be sustainable because now everybody and their brother was doing it. So what could I do? And again, I believe we all have so many talents that we don't tap into. And I thought,
Right.
gosh, I could do on-camera coaching. I had stayed, and to be completely transparent, I've still stayed in the TV industry a little bit in the
Mhm.
true crime space. So I've done quite a bit of true crime reporting, investigating, and on crazy shows like Snap Killer Couples and Fatal Attraction and Killer Vengeance and all these. You don't watch them; they're
But
horrible
aren't
shows,
those
right?
kind of like freelance? Like,
It's all freelance. That's all
yeah.
freelance.
That,
And
so
so
it's
it's
that's
fun.
different than the TV news industry.
Right, right, right.
Yeah.
So this is just freelance, but it was a way to stay in front of the camera, still do some of those things, which I love. So that's great.
Hey there, friends. Are you ready to rise fully into your calling as a leader? I want to introduce you to Heart Soul Strength, a ministry dedicated to equipping leaders like you to serve with purpose, resilience, and joy. fully aligned with God's will for your life and the people you have specifically been called to lead. Whether you are leading a company from your home while you're raising small kids, or you're the leader of a Fortune 500 company, I want to personally invite you to our first immersive event, the Rise Leadership Conference, happening November 12th through 14th, 2025 in Waco, Texas, at the stunning Deerfield Estates, just 10 minutes from downtown Waco. This will be a weekend of worship, actionable workshops, connections, networking, and fellowship with women who share the same anointing on their lives, but maybe at different levels. It's designed to recharge your heart, soul, and strength, and to empower you to lead with clarity and confidence. So whether you're able to join us in person or simply just want to support the mission of Heart, Soul, Strength, where we are called to equip leaders, your donation makes a difference. Visit heartsoulstrength.org to learn more, to donate, or to grab your ticket to Rise. Let's rise into leadership the way that God intended, together. You are created worthy, and through Him, you have the heart, soul, and strength to make a kingdom impact in whatever role you're serving in. God's got you, and you got this.
So beyond that, then I thought, well, I can coach people on camera. And during 2020, during COVID, because I'll be quite honest with you, I was failing teaching my fourth son how to read. He was in first grade, and either I was going to become a raging alcoholic because I was drinking wine way too early during the day, or I was going to do something to better myself. And so my husband's, let's put the wine down and let's see what else there is out there. I'm like, okay, let's put the wine down. So I leaned into LinkedIn and I started learning more about LinkedIn, and I learned about LinkedIn marketing, and I was so enthralled by it because for me, Instagram's not my place. I don't dance around. I don't point to words. A lot of it is very inauthentic. People are like so trying to be authentic that it's inauthentic. Like it's just, there's not a lot of reality on there. And then Facebook. I don't care that your daughter had Cheerios for breakfast. Like, why are we posting this? Like, it was not, neither of those places were for me. I'm not a big social media person, or at least I wasn't until I found LinkedIn. And I fell in love with LinkedIn. Who loves LinkedIn? Apparently, I'm one of the few, but I do. It's my favorite sandbox to play in. So that's when I was learning about LinkedIn. I was doing on-camera coaching and a lot of just little things. Again, just monetizing it a little bit here and there, because why not? We all have so many skills that others could use. And so if you have not, for those who are listening, there are things that financially, if you're like, gosh, I could use another stream of income, take some time to figure out what your skills are. And I'm telling you, people out there need them. They need them. In fact, I was talking to a friend about starting her new business. She said, I just don't have the money. If anyone says that I don't have the money to start a business, I'm going to challenge you, because I want you to go in your closet. What can you sell on eBay? What can you sell on ThreadUp? I know someone who started her business simply by, she got her clothes she hadn't worn in 6 months. She listed them and she's like, okay, $30 here, $10 here, $15 there. And then she also would challenge herself to paying for things in cash more. But anytime she got a $5 bill back, she saved it. A $1 bill, she could spend, $10 bill, 20, whatever. But a $5 bill, she saved it. Put it away. And you will find the cash you need. A little $5 here, that may not affect you this week, but put it away. Imagine after a couple weeks of that, and maybe selling some things on ThreadUp or any of the, there are ways to start a business without a lot of money. Because I started my business when I decided to go all in with very little upfront investment. I'm talking less than $1,000. I was able to start my business, and within 3 months, I had made over $10,000. I had way beyond past, paid myself back for what I put into it. You guys, you can strap it. If you are comfortable and you're in that box right now, you're like, that's great for you. That's good for you. That's awesome. Like, you were able to do it. No, you can do it too. You have to decide to believe in yourself. And if you don't believe in yourself, take my belief, borrow my belief of going, okay, I'm in this box, but Sarah's reinvented herself and found that plan B, which was affiliate marketing, and then a plan C, which was then getting into like on-camera coaching, and then a plan D, but they're all multiple streams of income. If I can do it and get out of my box and get over myself, because there's pride involved in TV, let's be clear, right? There is. So to get over myself and go, I maybe from the outside, people are like, what is she doing? She's starting this business, doing what online and what is she like?
Yeah.
Does she even know what she's doing? Come on, please. That's never going anywhere.
Yeah.
Right? Are you going to
No.
believe what others are saying? No, borrow my belief that yes, it can work. It can. And it did. And so I decided to bootstrap it and start this because I saw a need, right? Find a need and fill it. Find a need that's out there. God has given you tools to fill it in some way. And I was convicted to really help these other television anchors who were miserable in TV news who wanted out, because I knew at the end, we didn't even talk about the end of my story in news, but it was so horrible. And what I went through at the TV station was so bad. The last 4 years in television were so difficult. And that's from my management. Forget the viewers who would write in every day and be like, are you pregnant again? You look really fat today. Okay. Nope, not pregnant. Thanks. And they're like, oh, that just must be an ugly sweater, an ugly jacket you wore today. The mean comments we would get every day in our inbox, which I later realized hurting people hurt people. And there are a lot of hurting people out there. And so they could they could just email me being anonymous. But I went through such a hard time in television, such misery. But I'm thankful for that time. I am so thankful. Now, I wasn't thankful during that time. I wasn't thankful a year or two later.
In reflection.
Yes, I would never have left television. And then when, again, I was losing money, not making as much money in affiliate marketing, and I was stressed out. But instead of being stressed out, I should have been leaning on God, because the truth was, God's putting the puzzle pieces behind the scene, putting them all together. I didn't see it, but I'm so glad that he did that, because I wouldn't have left to start these new businesses. One helping TV journalists leave news, and the others helping entrepreneurs tell their own stories.
Yeah. Yes. So tell us about breaking out of breaking news and the storyteller's experience, because these are the full circle offerings now that the Lord has helped you to put together, and your amazing network and connections and all of the different things that have really helped you to go all in with, again, as you said, helping news anchors break out of breaking news, which is, again, so specific, but we love that.
So niche.
And that's part of the reason, from a brand perspective, why it's done so well and why you were able to invest a little amount and get such a high return, was because it was so niche, but also because of your experience, right? Using your story to help other people. And then the second one, which is the newer, more broad offering, but is for entrepreneurs. So yeah, tell us what breaking out of breaking news is, and what the problem it solves is, and then tell us about storyteller's experience.
So breaking out breaking news is just that. So it's helping TV news anchors design a life they love outside of and away from the TV cameras. So it's basically going through all the things I talked about, figuring out who else are we? What else would we want to do? What other passions and skills do we have if we're not waking up Monday morning excited for the week and for life, right? And so many of these anchors were coming to me through LinkedIn going, man, it looks like you've designed this amazing life. Like, how do I get out? What do I do? What else can I do? All I know is news. Like, how does that translate into anything else? Everyone who leaves news goes into PR or marketing, boring. What else can I do? I'm like, there's so much else out there.
Yeah.
Who are you outside of news? And they go, I don't know. And I realized then so many people are lost. They're just going through their days. Like I said, that hamster wheel of life. So for breaking out of breaking news, that was really my first entree into the online coaching space. And I've loved it, because really it puts all of my passions together of people in TV news, but also helping them outside of the industry, because I know a lot of them are miserable the way that I was. The last 4 years in TV news were horrific for me. And so if I can help them get out once news no longer is fun, and I'm not telling people not to get into it, because if that's your calling, go for it. But just know you will pivot at some point. There is a plan B coming down the road for you, no matter what. So I'm here to stand in that gap and help them figure out, what is that plan B? Like, where are their passions? What else can they do? And so in breaking out of breaking news, I love being able to help them figure out what lights them up on a Monday morning so they are truly like thriving during the week and not just surviving to get through the week. So I work with a group of people, a group of TV anchors, reporters, producers, even some managers who are like, this industry stinks, like where it's going today, forget the election, forget all that stuff. It's not what it used to be. I want out. And so I help them figure out what that next step is. So that's where I started. But what I also realized in working with them is my love of storytelling. They've reignited that passion for me. And as being on LinkedIn all the time, because I love being over there and working with my TV newsies on LinkedIn, I was seeing all kinds of entrepreneurs pop in there and they're marketing and they're trying to sell their business or get more exposure, and they're not doing it well. And I don't say that, I'm not throwing shade on anybody. I just know that, and this is what hurts my heart right here, because I have a heart for entrepreneurs. What hurts my heart is when I see people trying to get more visible. They're trying to get the word out. They have an amazing idea, an amazing business, but if they don't get the knowledge to, I'm sorry, cut that part out. If they don't get visibility and if they don't bring new potential prospects or clients to them, they're going out of business, right? If you don't make money, you're going out of business. And so if you don't know how to market yourself and get your story and what makes your business unique out there, so often businesses go under. And I saw that happening. So I was on LinkedIn running my breaking out of breaking news, but watching these entrepreneurs struggle. And I thought, what are they missing? If they can't afford ads, which I don't believe in doing all of the Facebook ads and all, if you want to, go for it. There's so much money being thrown away and wasted on that. And there's so many ways to organically market yourself, but it comes down to stories, telling your story, what makes your company unique, what makes your business unique, what makes you unique, and how does that tie in to your ideal client? And storytelling is the way to really bridge that gap. So that's why I realized, okay, I see this need out there. I have a love and a knowledge of how to tell your story. Or if you want to get publicity, I know how to get you on local TV shows. I know how to get you on in front of different media. Let me show you what I know. And so that's why I started the Storyteller's Experience. And it's a full experience. It's learning how to authentically tell your story, how to market your business organically, how to stand on a stage and tell your story, how to get in front of those audiences, how to get in front of TV crews, truly how to get visible in 2025 and beyond.
Mm-hmm.
And I jumped into that thinking, oh, maybe a person or two will jump in. We'll see what happens. And what just lights me up and just warms my heart is when I get messages like I did this week going, I've spent so much money on so many different programs and coaching and all these different things that I've tried to do. And this is the first time where it's clicking. It makes sense. And I get it now. I now understand how to get these clients to come to me. It's through content. It's through telling your story. It's through connection. And that's something a lot of people don't teach. And so I'm so excited that I can fill that gap and help others in that way so that their dreams don't die. Like their businesses can go on and I can serve them. There's just this little missing link they're missing. And most people don't realize it. And they feel like it's a big link. They feel like it's heavy. Oh my gosh, how am I going to tell my story? Really, it's not that hard. It's going to take some time to uncover and just show you the steps. But once you learn, oh my gosh, you're going to love to see what comes from it.
Yes. And you are an expert at helping other people peel back those layers of the onion to really figure out, like what we talked about at the beginning as well. There is a story, even just when you go to the grocery store or when you think back on your quote unquote mundane childhood, like that nobody's story is mundane. There are so many lessons throughout it, and there is so much that we can learn from just that process of peeling back those layers so that we can figure out what are the stories. And then you also are a master crafter of the best hooks in the world. So that's also awesome and
Oh,
such a
thank you.
gift. Yes.
I
So
just love
Sara,
telling people how to do that, right? And I think everybody you're so good with unpacking people's stories. And I've heard this in several of your podcasts, and it happened to me too, just going through this with you, is going, oh yeah, that was impactful, or oh yeah, that did help. for me in a really cool way. Or maybe it's something bad that happened really wasn't bad in the long run because we can't
Yeah.
see God's 30,000 Google Zoom. It's
Yeah.
like God does Google Zoom out, like he sees the whole world. He's putting it together, but we're stuck zoomed all the way in right where I am at my little street here in Sugar Land, Texas, and I can't see the big picture. I
Yeah.
like helping people see, gosh, here's where your story is, and here's how your big picture is going to impact your clients in a way
Yeah.
maybe you haven't seen before.
Yeah. Which is what I think works so well within our professional and business bestie partnership is that um I'm more of like the let's zoom out, and you're more of, okay, now we're zoomed out. Now let's go back in from a more evolved perspective. Once we've figured out in the branding realm, sometimes we need to
Big
zoom
picture.
back out and figure out, okay, how do we market what you, or how do we visually and with your messaging represent what you are doing? Or
Mhm.
what you're called to do or who you are or whatever. And then you go back in and you're like, and these are the things. Like it's almost like we're opposites in that way,
Yes.
which
But you
is
need both ends. You need
we
to have
need both
both.
ends.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it's so important in that, in the process of both personal and professional development, to do that, to even have that ability to zoom out and zoom back in, right? Like sometimes when we zoom all the way out and we are now in this place of just looking at things from the 30,000 foot view, that's where we get lost in being willing to see a plan B, as you
Yeah.
had talked about, right? Like or being able to see how anything we've done has significance if we were to zoom back in. And you just have to be able to go back and forth
That's right.
so
That's
that
right.
you can really communicate well, connect well, so that your business can grow. If you have a business or in your parenting, like being able to be like, yeah, I'm a mom. I have four boys, or I have a daughter on my end. But it's more than just I have that label, right? It's like, how much am I spending time? Am I coloring? Am I going to the games and going and just being intentional with that closer relationship as well, which is I just love that
But
you do
also
that.
knowing there is no perfection in any of it, right?
Yeah.
In any of it. Nothing will ever be perfect. And so many people get caught up in trying to make something perfect, whether
Yeah.
it's their website's perfect or whether it's their exact piece of content perfect, or we go back to parenting. I have friends who their homes are immaculate, no dust. It's beautiful. You don't even know
Yeah.
kids live there, people live there. But I'm like, but what are you missing in that? Like, where's life? If you could see my house, oh my gosh, I don't even think you can see the top of my kitchen table. There's just junk everywhere. The kids are home from college and there's just stuff everywhere. And plus, my sixth grader was up late trying to do review packets for English and for science. There's stuff everywhere. But I also know in the different plan, you need a plan B. There are different chapters in your life. And there will be a time where my kids are not around and my house will be immaculate and it will be perfect and it will be wonderful. That's just not today.
Yeah.
And it's okay. It's
Yeah.
okay to have some chaos. It's never going to be perfect in business or in
Yeah.
raising families. And I have to remind myself of this because some of that chaos drives me crazy. That's why
Yeah.
I try to keep my office nice and clean because this is my space and I can control this. But I have to go with the chaos. I have to enjoy it and embrace it. I hate that phrase, embrace the chaos. But sometimes you just have to
Yeah.
and find those joyful times and make those memories in those times again because they're fleeting. And these years with our kids will go fast. You only have 18 summers with your children. 18 summers. The reality is it's more like 16 because they get their license or suddenly their friends do and their friends are more important. So if you only have 16 summers to make an impact with your kids, does it really matter if the kitchen table is covered in crap? Does it really matter to have the perfect homemade meal every night? Or is it more important to spend time building your business and doing whatever it is you do during the day, but then spend time at night not doing that stupid little stuff that you could do later when they're in bed or next week or whenever? Who cares? But
Yeah.
spend time with them. That's where the
Yes.
stories come from, right? That's where the
Yeah.
stories come from.
Yeah. Oh, that's such a good point. It's not in those perfectly curated moments. It's in
No.
those moments where you're embracing the chaos or
Yeah.
finding joy in that chaos.
Mm.
So, Sarah, As we wrap up today, can you tell me a little bit about what is coming up in your life and business and where our listeners can best find and connect with you?
As far as social media goes, yep, LinkedIn for sure. I am on Facebook and Instagram, but LinkedIn without a doubt. I also have a website, which is just my name, saradavenport.net. People are like, why is it .com? Well, net, like you think of the news. I was in the news. It's .net. Starts with an N. Whatever. So on saradavenport.net for TV journalists, they can find that arm of my business for breaking out of breaking news. And for entrepreneurs, they can find out two different things. One is a little bit about my marketing agency for LinkedIn. So if you're ready to explode your business, if you've got a business that's doing really well, but need someone else just to take that load as far as marketing off your plate, the day-to-day LinkedIn marketing, that's where we come in. But most entrepreneurs are more in the beginning, earlier stages that I've been seeing lately. And those are the folks that, if that's you, that's our storyteller's experience. That is the place where really you can uncover your story and find out how to bring in more clients and truly build your business and your bank account through organic and authentic marketing. And it all comes down to storytelling. So my storyteller's experience, and I have those launching every couple of months. In fact, I think my next one probably is going to be in March or April. So you can connect with me, get on the wait list, and get ready to rock and roll. I'd love to have you. It's a little free masterclass on storytelling.
Yes, which her masterclass on storytelling, like, you guys, I have sat through it and have seen the back end of all of the different things. There is so much value even just in showing up to any of Sara's masterclasses. So I highly encourage you, even if you're not an entrepreneur, go check out her masterclasses. Send those to your entrepreneur friends, anyone who you know who has a desire to grow their business or is in a business that needs to grow or needs some up level of their marketing. Like, the storyteller's experience is amazing, and the content in the masterclass is incredible. So
thank you. Thank you.
All of that to say, definitely we're going to have all of those links in the show notes. And before you go, Sara, I just have a little bit of encouragement to share with you. Sara, your journey from a high-profile Emmy-winning TV anchor to a faith-driven entrepreneur is nothing short of extraordinary. Leaving the fast-paced world of breaking news to prioritize your family and faith was a bold and beautiful decision that speaks volumes about your values and vision. Now, as a gifted connector and master storyteller, you are using your talents to empower others to share their stories and transform their businesses and lives. By helping them harness the power of authentic storytelling, you are not only changing lives, but also creating ripple effects of impact that will inspire generations to come. Keep shining your light and guiding others to do the same. Sara, my sweet friend, you are created worthy.
Hey everyone, thanks so much for listening to my story on the Created Worthy podcast. My hope for you is this. I hope that you dust off those dreams that you've had. God has put so many amazing passions and talents that are all baked into who you are. And I want you to take time to go back and go, what if I could do anything? What would my life look like? Because here's the deal. God already knows the plan, and He's got you, and you've got this.
Thanks for listening and tuning in to the Created Worthy podcast. I hope that today's show resonated with you. And if it did, can you do me a huge favor and go leave a 5-star review? This helps more listeners find the show, and it expands the reach of the stories and concepts that are shared here. All the links and guest information are in the show notes. And if you're on social media, come hang out with me. You can find the Created Worthy podcast on both Instagram and Facebook. Or come follow along with my personal IG page, where I just share more about the real, sometimes messy life of your fellow worthy warrior. Can't wait to talk to you soon, friend. And don't forget, we are all created worthy.